Well, hello, this is Deborah Johnson with the Power of After show. And today we're talking about legacy driven entrepreneurship. And we are all about helping those at mid career, halftime of life really be able to answer what's next, maximizing your skills, resources, and experience. And many people reach this time of life, mid career, the halftime of life, with a wealth of experience. And they have a wealth of skills and relationships and wisdom, but they find themselves asking this important question: well, how do I turn all of this into something that really matters? So, and today on the Power of After show, we're exploring the concept of legacy driven entrepreneurship, building something that goes beyond earning just a paycheck or growing a business. It's about leveraging what you've learned over a lifetime to create meaningful impact, serve others, and really leave a lasting contribution. So, whether through mentoring, consulting, creating content, launching a business, or even supporting your community, your next chapter may be less about just accumulation and of any things or wealth, but more about significance. And we'll discuss how to transform that experience into influence, purpose, and into action, and success into a legacy that really continues to make a difference long after you're gone. And if you've not subscribed yet to our podcast or signed up for our newsletter, or actually we're on YouTube as well, make sure that you're getting these episodes every single week. So I look forward to this conversation, and I will see you in just a moment. Many talented mid-career professionals reach a point where they ask, what's next? They have experience, skills, and wisdom, but lack a clear roadmap for their next chapter. We provide the framework and guidance to help you get there. Check out our courses and offers. Now, let's dive into today's episode. Many people spend the first half of life building their career, raising a family, paying bills, and pursuing opportunities. It's busy. Yet at some point, the questions begin to change. And instead of asking, well, how can I earn more? People begin asking, well, how can I make a bigger and greater impact? And this shift is the heart of legacy-driven entrepreneurship. And my parents, they were wonderful people. They were always generous, even though we just didn't have a lot of extras growing up. But I specifically remember a young woman who came to live with us for several months, at least several months, probably a year. And at the time, I just thought she needed a place to stay. And it wasn't until after she left that I discovered that there were deeper reasons that she needed a safe haven. And this was not an isolated experience. It happened more than once as I look back. And so as I reflect on legacy-driven entrepreneurship, I'm reminded that building a legacy, it extends far beyond just business. Sometimes it looks like opening your home or offering encouragement, creating opportunities, or just providing a safe place for someone during a difficult season. There are countless ways to live out a legacy that impacts others long after the moment has passed. Legacy-driven entrepreneurship is the practice of building a business and a life that creates lasting value beyond personal income or success. It's the decision to use experience, relationships, resources, and influence to improve the lives of others while creating a meaningful lifestyle for yourself and those you love. And at the halftime of life, this perspective, it becomes especially powerful. And my mission today is to help others, to help you, and to help those that are even listening to this podcast live their very, very best years at or after halftime of life. I consistently apply some of the principles I'm talking about today to my own life. Through speaking, writing, podcasting, coaching, courses that I create, and programs such as Hero Mountain Summit, I help people navigate the important question, what's next? And the answer is really rarely about starting over. More often, it's about building on what already exists. So I'm going to talk about the power, and that's a great word, the power of experience. One of the greatest misconceptions about midlife is that people are somehow behind the curve. And especially when you look at technology. Oh, no, I'll never catch up now. And nothing could be further from the truth. By halftime, most people have accumulated decades of valuable experience. They've solved problems, they've led teams, raised families, weathered disappointments, celebrated victories, and learned lessons that can't be taught in a classroom. Think about what you learned in college. Have you applied very much of that? Maybe. Probably the relationships is what you've kept most of all. Legacy driven entrepreneurs recognize that their experience is an asset. Their relationships are assets. Their failures are assets. And their stories are assets. So the question becomes, how can these assets be used to serve others? So when I work with people navigating transition, I'm often reminded that I remind people that they're not starting from scratch. They're starting from experience. And many people assume that their most valuable contributions must come through that formal job or that formal business that's, the bottom line is making money. But but some of the most impactful skills are the ones that bring people together. I have friends who have been highly successful in their professional careers, but one of their greatest strengths is creating and organizing local events that run seamlessly. They have a gift for gathering people, coordinating details, and creating environments where meaningful connections can happen. Don't you love being a part of those events? Now, while event planning may not be their primary occupation, it serves an important purpose. In a time when many people they just feel isolated or disconnected. I mean, especially after the times that we've been through with shutdowns, these gatherings, they provide much needed interaction, encouragement, and fellowship together. Whether it's a neighborhood gathering, a community activity, networking event, or social meetup, bringing people together, it strengthens relationships and builds a sense of belonging. Right now, pickleball is huge. And part of the reason pickleball is huge, I think, is because it brings people together. In fact, I'm a part of a little group like that, and it's wonderful. It brings people together. You start laughing and you start just spending time together. And it reminds us that not every valuable skill needs to become a career. Sometimes our greatest contribution comes from using our talents to serve others, to foster community, and to create opportunities for genuine human connection. And the ability to gather people and make them feel welcome, help them connect, it might be one of the most meaningful gifts that we can offer in today's increasingly digital and isolated world. So, how do we define success? Let's define it a little bit differently. Earlier in life, success it's often measured by titles, income, possessions, or professional achievements. And eventually, many people discovered that achievement alone does not create fulfillment. For me, success is about far more than income, recognition, or status. In fact, I had to come to this realization. I was extremely successful in the field of the arts. There are very few that get to the level that I've gotten in the arts. It's the 1% of the 1%. But there's a lot more that defines success in my life than just that. My success is rooted in purpose and goodness and beauty and relationships, meaningful relationships, and contribution and work that really matters. I'm doing what I love. Success is found in knowing that what we do positively impacts the life of others. And sometimes that impact comes through large projects and long term goals. And other times it appears in just little simple acts of kindness, sharing fruit from our trees, delivering a jar of homemade jam. Oh, those people love homemade jam because it's kind of unusual. Or to someone who needs just a call or encouragement, taking the time to connect with a friend. Those small gestures often create more lasting values than we realize. Recently, someone described me, we were talking and described me as very self-driven. Well, I agreed. I am self-driven. I'm an entrepreneur. You have to be self-driven. I'm motivated. And then I'm intentional about my work. but I'm not driven by stress or endless striving. Purposeful work, it just naturally comes with responsibilities, deadlines, and occasional pressures that I put on myself because I'm an entrepreneur. Yet, when our efforts align with our values and purpose, that stress it's balanced by a deep sense of fulfillment and reward. And at this stage of life, I've become even more convinced that success isn't about accumulating more money or pursuing fame. It's just those are fleeting. True success is about making a meaningful contribution, using our gifts well, and really leaving a positive impact on the people and the communities around us. And when our work it serves a purpose greater than ourselves, the rewards it extends far beyond anything that can be measured just financially. So I'm going to talk now about designing a desired lifestyle, and I go through all of this in the Hero Mountain Summit in our Power of After program, because this is part of it. What kind of lifestyle do you want to have at this point in your life? One of the greatest benefits of entrepreneurship at this stage of life is the ability to intentionally design a desired lifestyle. You don't need to work 24 hours a day, but many people say, oh, that's all you do. No, for years, many people structure their life just about work, about showing up. And at halftime, that goal kind of shifts. Work should support life, not just consume it. My desired lifestyle includes continuing the work I love. I don't plan on retiring, but I also create space for family. That's very important, still very important. I have grandchildren. I want to create time for them. I want to still create time for my kids, adult kids, for travel, for learning and meaningful experiences. And my husband and I often refer to these years as our travel years. We watch the window of opportunity close for previous generations, for our parents. They couldn't travel anymore at a certain stage. Health changes, circumstances change, mobility changes. And that awareness, it creates that purposeful urgency. People put this off, and then all of a sudden they can't do it anymore. They've missed that window of time. We want to experience new places, cultures, people, and adventures while we can. And at the same time, we want to remain involved in the lives of our kids and grandkids. Legacy, it's not just what we leave behind, but it's what we build into the people around us today, the conversations we can have. We talk to our kids very often. We feel fortunate with that. So, how do you build a business that supports your life? Many entrepreneurs unintentionally build businesses that just own them. The business becomes another demanding boss 24 hours a day. And one of the reasons I frequently discuss systems, automation, and strategic planning is because they create freedom. And you can decide how much you want to work and how you want to structure it. Automation's a wonderful thing. Content has to be very good and very organized. You just need to be organized. Systems allow work to continue while you travel. Systems allow content to reach people while you sleep. And systems allow businesses to scale without sacrificing everything else that matters. And I talk about some of my systems in my book, Power of After, and I'm constantly updating my own with the growth of technology. I put my current systems in Power of After just to kind of give ideas, a guide. And I always state that you need to create your own. Technology now offers opportunities previous generations never had. And online courses, digital publishing, virtual events, AI tools, automation, it allows experienced professionals to extend their impact while preserving flexibility and freedom. And many people wonder, can I even remain relevant? I mean, everything's so changing so fast. Well, the answer is, well, yes. However, relevance requires growth. The entrepreneurs who thrive at the halftime of life, they're not necessarily the youngest. They're often the most adaptable. Ooh, let me say that again. They're not necessarily the youngest. They're often the most adaptable. You know what? As we gracefully grow older, It's harder to be adaptable, isn't it? We kind of get stuck in our ways. But those entrepreneurs that thrive continue learning, stay curious, and embrace new tools while building on those decades of wisdom. Technology should not replace experience, it should amplify it. So, how do I help others find their next chapter? Well, one of the greatest joys of this season of my life is helping others discover their own next chapter. Many people arrive at the halftime of life just feeling stuck. What do I do? Where do I go? Just those questions. Some are retiring, and others are just reinventing their career. Some are becoming empty nesters, and others are caring for aging parents. Boy, that's a huge responsibility. It's tough. We've done the same thing. Retirement is one of those life transitions people often talk about with just this great excitement. The freedom, the flexibility, the opportunities. Oh, it sounds so wonderful. Yet when that day finally arrives, many are confronted with a stark reality. After years or even decades of having a place to go, people to serve, and a purpose built into their schedule, they suddenly find themselves asking, okay, I'm here. What's next? What now? And that question can be surprisingly unsettling. And at first, retirement may feel like an extended vacation. There are projects around the house to complete, trips to take, hobbies to explore, long, long postponed items to cross off the list, sprinklers to fix. But eventually, those projects, they get finished. The trips end, the novelty wears off, and what remains is a deeper need for purpose, contribution, and meaningful engagement. And sometimes you just start getting involved in everything, then you're just overwhelmed again. That's why the best retirement planning involves far more than finances. The time to think about what comes after retirement is long before retirement arrives. It's important to begin asking, what will give my life meaning? How will I continue to grow, contribute, and connect with others? What skills, experiences, and relationships can carry into my next chapter? So that retirement shouldn't be reviewed as just this end of productive living, but as a beginning of a new season filled with possibility. And the individuals who navigate this transition most successfully are often those who have already begun building a vision for their after, a purpose-driven chapter that extends well beyond a final day at work. The power of after message is built around a simple truth. Your best years don't have to be behind you. Experience creates wisdom, and wisdom creates perspective. Perspective creates influence, and influence creates opportunity to help others. So, what will you leave behind? Legacy is often misunderstood as just wealth. True legacy is it's much more. It's much broader. It's a positive impact that we leave in people, organizations, communities, and future generations. We don't need to start a nonprofit. We don't need to do these huge group meetings. It's the encouragement we provide, the knowledge we share, the relationships we build, and the opportunities we create. And one of the most valuable exercises you can do right now is to take time to write down your thoughts about the future. If you're doing this before retirement, even better. Planning ahead, it allows you to approach this transition with intention rather than just reacting to it when it arrives. And it's also important to recognize that just that retirement doesn't have to mean completely stepping away from work. Many people discover they still want to contribute, still stay engaged, and use their skills in meaningful ways. Maybe they can work just part-time. The difference is now they have more freedom to choose how and where they invest their time. They can still travel, they can still take off, and they're not so overwhelmed when they come back. They don't have as much work. So, in fact, experienced workers, they're more valuable than ever. As technology and AI continue to advance, the demand for uniquely human skills, often called soft skills, will only increase. And guess who has those? Those at halftime of life, those who have those years of experience. Communication, empathy, problem solving, leadership, relationship building, that cannot be automated. How do you like calling up a company and getting a bot, right? I don't. Those abilities are developed through years of experience and remained highly sought after. I love talking to human beings. especially if they know what they're talking about and they can help you. People still crave that personal touch. They appreciate speaking with someone who listens, understands their concerns, and can provide thoughtful guidance, whether in customer service, consulting, coaching, mentoring, healthcare, or countless other fields. Human connection continues to be that powerful, competitive advantage. I hope you are just so encouraged by listening to this today that you are not turning this off. You're going, oh, I need this. I need this. That question is not simply whether you will retire, but how you will continue to use your experience, your wisdom, and relationships to make a meaningful contribution to your next chapter. Some of the greatest legacies are not measured in dollars. They're measured in people. Ah, that's wonderful. Legacy-driven entrepreneurship is ultimately about alignment. It's aligning your work with your purpose, your values with your actions, and your success with contribution. Take some time to review your core values. You should do this at least once or twice a year. Actually, twice to 3 times a year is good. The appendix in my book, Stop Circling, is a great resource for this. A whole chapter of it, and it's a guide, can take you through your core values and just to review them. They're very good. It doesn't take forever, and it will help you really have that purpose. At the end of that, you really realize what's most important to you. At the halftime of life, you understand that time is precious. Relationships matter. Experiences often outlast possessions, and significance matters more than accumulation. The goal is not simply just to build a successful business. The goal is to build a meaningful life, a life that serves others, creates freedom, embraces purpose, values goodness and beauty, and just leaves that legacy worth remembering. And perhaps most important, a life that inspires others to believe that their best years may still be ahead. And one of the best questions you can ask yourself is, I love this question. It's and it's one really we need to think about. It's not too early to think about. What will your epitaph say about you? Oh, people say, "Oh no, I can't think about that." No, oh, that's like, oh, that's morbid. No, it's not. What do you want people really to say about you? What can you imagine? I mean, it can be simple as great mom, great dad, or maybe it'll say, oh, he made such a difference, or she loved much, or he lived with purpose. Or the world is a better place because she was here. She made me laugh. Or he helped others climb. Or she left things better than she found them. Wow. It's worth considering what people would honestly say about you when your story is complete. And if you want to see a couple of those, make sure you get the article that comes with this. I have all of those down in the article and some other resources for you as well. And you can get our weekly newsletter. We don't send spam, but get that. You get all of our podcasts and video update as well. Thanks so much for joining me, Deborah Johnson, with the Power of After Show, helping you at mid-career halftime of life answer what's next. And I will look forward to seeing you again next time. So bye-bye for now. Thanks so much for spending time with me today. I love bringing you insights to help you maximize your skills, resources, and experience at mid-career and beyond so that you can make your next chapter your most impactful and purposeful yet. I'm Deborah Johnson, and I can't wait to be with you again next time on the Power of After Show.